So I am making a movie. This is the first time that I'm really doing this, and I'm sorry to come at you at a pretty low point right now, but we're about 90% done with the movie, with the filming process of it, and there have been so many complications that I'm honestly losing my love for this film. Currently, I am in college, and I am in the film school or film category of doing my degree. And I got to tell you right now, I'm really not happy with it. I've done more extracurricular work for doing film and the other kind of stuff involving film, like making this movie and personally teaching myself, than actually learning it from any of my classes so far. This is my second semester, and I've basically, and I mean this full-heartedly, and I'm not even trying to over-exaggerate, I've learned nothing in my film degree. Basically, my first film teacher would bring guests in, and the guests would talk about their work experience for the majority of 3 hours. So the entire class period, which is 3 hours long, all online, they would talk about their own experiences of film. And they'd come with a half-assed slideshow of what they do, and that's it. My second film teacher, she shows us these movies that I have never, ever seen or heard about, and people are genuinely watching this movie in my film class, and what I can only assume is the world. They're watching these movies like they're just perfect. I watched this movie, and I'm not going to name it because honestly it was a pretty decent movie outside of a few things. This movie is basically 15 minutes long without all of the sex scenes that are in it. She basically played us porn for 3 hours because this class meets every 2 times a week, and Wednesday we typically sit down and watch a movie. This movie is about 2.5 hours long, and it's just two hours of sex. That's literally it. And then the story behind it was she did all of this because she has cancer. She basically goes on this long road trip with two young guys, and she sleeps with both of them. And she's doing all of this because she has cancer. Now, I might have basically told you what the movie is. If you know what that movie is, I'm not going to hate on it. But at 9 in the morning, with a group of 400 people, you don't want to be watching that type of movie. And another example of this teacher is she showed us a 45-minute movie during our experimental week, where it was basically a slow zoom in like this, with basically this screeching noise over the entire time, and nothing's really happening besides the fact that the guy who made it is putting funny colors over the entire thing of it. So basically what I'm showing you right now is what the guy was doing. And it was so stupid that we had to sit there for 45 minutes, and my teacher has the audacity to come out after the movie and she goes, well, I personally think that movie was a masterpiece. Don't you guys agree? I mean, there's so much meaning behind it. I was so furious that I stood up and I left the class, and I'm almost positive that I took an absence, because usually at the end you have to write your name or a check mark to show that you were there, and I didn't do that. I just left. So when I was coming here, I really thought, great, I'm going to come here, I'm going to learn, maybe not that much, but I'm going to come here and learn a bunch about film, and maybe I'll do some papers on it. I'm fine with that, but, really hone in on what I'm going to do. I haven't done that so far. The only way I've been able to do that is with this film. I'm a little bummed out because when you spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for tuition and for making this movie, it really bums you out when things stop going as planned. So what I'm going to do right now is, I know I'm not going to get any money from this video, but I just want to go ahead and show you a clip of what I've been working on. And it's basically a montage sequence of a detective going around the campus, and there's some copyrighted music over it. The copyrighted music is just a temporary placeholder for what I wanted make it feel like. But I'll go ahead and play that now. And you guys kind of, personally, I want you to tell me what I'm missing. And I want you to, I kind of want this to be like a help me out, because I know my film teacher isn't helping me out. Any of them.
From the dusty mesa, her looming shadow grows, hidden in the branches of the poison creosote. She twines her spines up slowly towards the boiling sun, and when I touched her skin, my fingers ran with blood.
So again, after watching that, please tell me what you think, what you personally think, what needs to be fixed, what is kind of cool about it, whatever. It was basically shot on this camera that you're seeing now, and even though I have a key light on me, I have a little bit of a fill light that I doubt is working, but I know a few definitions and I know a few kind of things to from my film class to show what I'm doing. But I also want to take a second for the people, the production team that's actually making this movie with me. If you somehow managed to see this, thank you. I mean, seriously, there's about 7 of us working on this movie. I have a cinematographer, I have 2 producers, I have about 3 or 4 actors, I have an editor for this. I mean, seriously, thank you so much for all of your help, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I know I couldn't make this type of movie without you, let alone make this big of a movie without you, because I personally hate the idea of making a 2 or 5 minute movie and submitting it to festivals, and it's just the simplest idea. I see 2-minute movies that get accepted into NYU and USC, and they're all right. They're not groundbreaking. I'm not saying the movie I'm working on is groundbreaking, but I just feel like there could have been something a little bit more there, and I can't conceive, I can't comprehend how they're managing to do so well. And my film, my very first film that I made, got rejected by 16 festivals. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how many they were rejected from, so I can't speak on their behalf, and I'm not going to belittle any of them. In my mind right now, I don't know if it's like a toxic trait or anything. I just don't know how that's actually possible. Because I also want to say one thank you to Ben. I doubt he's even going to be watching this, but seriously, thank you, because I mean, you have helped a significant portion of this, and I want to thank Hunter as well, because he's been fucking phenomenal. I mean, he really has. He's the detective that you saw in the previous clip. I mean, I gotta tip my hat off to him, because he's been through the thick and thin, and he's had his well share of moments where I chewed him out, and he sticks around. So that seriously means a hell of a lot to me. I'm gonna be so honest. I also wouldn't consider myself a bad director, or a mean director, I should say, actually. Because we're all in the same boat, really. I'm not asking them to be perfect. I'm not asking them to give me like Leonardo DiCaprio acting, or like the best cinematography possible. I'm really just asking you to give me your best. Give me 100% of your effort. And I know that's what I just said. Oh yeah, I can give 100% of effort. I mean, seriously, you truly give me 100% of your effort. If you can only give me about 80% of your attention that day, or if you can only give me about 30% of your attention, as long as you're giving me all of that attention or all of that effort, you're giving me 100%. So 30 out of 30, that's 100%. 80 out of 80, that's 100%. As long as you give me 100% and you're giving me that dedication, you're going to be all right in my book. All right, you seriously are. So I don't really know what the point of me making this is. I'm kind of sorry to anybody that does watch this. I doubt it's gonna be that big of a video. So hi to all 12 of you that are watching this, and thanks to the one like, that's probably Kaylin. You're a real one. Kaylin's my lifelong buddy, but yeah, I kind of wanted this video to be a little bit of a personal note and just tell y'all what I've been up to for those of you that care. Care's a hard thing to come by in this world. It really is. So, for those of you that actually do stick around for this and show your care, that I appreciate it. I really do. I don't mean to be somber about it, but right now it's tough. It's tough. I know it's tough for a lot of people, and this is kind of a privilege to feel this type of way with this kind of film, because I have been gifted a lot, and I don't want to sound like I'm taking it for granted, because I seriously am not. Honestly, this movie, I'm not taking it for granted. I'm trying to show my efforts in the light of it. I don't want people to see this and be like, oh, this is just some half-assed work that he threw together. This movie is going to be pretty long. I mean, I have 4 hours of footage. All of it is like 600, 700 gigabytes of storage on my PC. So I am putting my full heart into this, and I really want it to be good. And tomorrow we're going to do another reshoot, because almost every single scene that we've done so far, we've had to reshoot it. And it's not because of an acting problem. Sometimes it has been, but that's not the main gist of it. It's mainly because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I know that my community, my crew, is probably getting a little sick of all the reshoots. But I don't want people to think that I'm half-assing this, or I'm not giving a fuck, because I seriously am with this. And even though I can say all of this, you're not gonna comprehend it. But that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that even though I can say I'm giving 100% of it, I have to at least show it on the screen, because I am giving 100% of this. And if I give you something that I know the scene is bad, or I know that the sound isn't good in, I'm gonna lose it, because then in my eyes I've half-assed it, and then I willingly half-assed it, showing that I didn't give 100%, and that I can't fucking stand. I don't know if my family's gonna be watching this. They don't typically see me swear. I'm sorry if I'm swearing a lot. I truly am. I can't stand it. I had this guy in my film class who we all had to get into a group, and we had to talk about some definitions or something. I've kind of forgotten it, honestly. And this guy has his head down, and he's just talking, and he's like, oh man, I had like 2 hours of sleep last night. I really can't right now. I'm just gonna, you guys can do whatever. I think this guy needs a huge reality check, because the world does not revolve around you. It does not care if you are tired. It does not care if you are sore. It does not care if you give a damn or not. For you to show up and half-ass it will cause harm and will cause stuff to crumble. So even though I'm telling you this, in my mind, I'm already thinking back to this film again, because I don't want to half-ass it. My whole point of making this and telling you is, yes, it's going to be a little bit personal, but I just don't want to half-ass this, and I don't want this to be a shitty film, and I don't want this to fail. I mean, long story short, I don't want this to fail. I doubt anybody wants their movie to fail, but damn. My friend was kind of giving me a little analogy of it. He was like, if I have a perfect folding machine and it folds my shirt, and sometimes it doesn't fold it perfectly, am I going to get mad at the machine or what? I'm sorry, I kind of forgot what he was going for, but I felt like that was the worst analogy to use possible. But if you're going to spend all that money on the machine, why get it why get it if it's not going to be perfect every single time? Most of my movies that I make involve kind of this chase for perfection, and in the process of chasing perfection, they kind of hurt themselves in the process, like a tragic hero type of sense, where they lose everything at the very end because they became too dedicated on their thing. And come to think about it, I'm kind of fitting the bill right now for a character. You know, the films that I made last time, like Psychosis, for example, was about a psychiatrist who's basically meeting up with his patient, and they're having a whole conversation back and forth. And the long story short, the patient is actually just a figment of the psychiatrist's mind. He's been talking to himself the entire time. And in the whole process of trying to help his patient and help him feel better and break this insanity slip that he's having, he finds out that he himself is actually insane. And honestly, since I'm talking to this camera, that could be my patient, I'm the psychiatrist, and wow. It's hit me really hard, actually. It's a big loop. I don't know how many people are going to be able to relate with this. I don't know how many people are going to care about this. And I don't know how many people are actually going to see this. So this is basically like a little journal to myself. Maybe I can look back on this when I get like this again and realize that I don't know. I don't know what I would realize. I was trying to tie this all together, and maybe me saying that would have struck a light bulb in my brain. But I honestly, again, don't know what the point of this is. And I remember I told you what the point of this thing was kind of showcasing my film and stuff, but now I've branched off into something else, and quite frankly, I've forgotten. And maybe that's just the whole point to this. Maybe the whole point is to forget and to go ahead and move on and worry yourself about other stuff so you forget about worrying about the last thing. I don't know. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't. I could sit here in silence for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I think I'd be perfectly content with that. I got two things that I kind of want to talk about, and one of them is the definition of film. There is so many films that I've watched for my film class, for YouTube, the little things that I've kind of watched that show their point of, oh, I got accepted into a college that I like, and it's a film, and then I've made this film, and look at this film. Hell, you could argue almost anything on YouTube, or all of YouTube is film. Yeah, it's content and it's being created, but isn't film also content? And there's professional YouTube content creators Are they directors? Are they... Is this what you're watching right now a film? Can this be submitted to film festivals? And can that movie that I was watching, that was 45 minutes in a group of 400 people, where we all watched this slow zoom in of different colors being flashed on the screen, and it was literally basically slowly zooming in on like a little photograph of some beach waves. There was no beach wave sound. There was nothing. It was basically like watching paint dry. I'm still fucking furious about that because I fucking can't stand that. You wasted my time. You wasted my money. I can't fucking stand you. Sorry I got so heated about that. The last thing that I kind of want to talk about is failing. I know there's a whole process of failing and how there's gratitude with failing and how there's dignity in failing and how there's growth in dignity or growth in failure. And I don't want this movie specifically, because of how hard I'm working on it, to be a failure. I don't want this to be a learning process, because I've spent a lot of my own money on this. I've spent a lot of my friends' money because they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll help pull in some money too." You know, this is a group effort. They have some money sprinkled in, I have some money sprinkled in, my family has some money sprinkled in. I can't afford for this to be a failure, because I'm putting so much damn effort and borderline going insane for it to not work out. I think another reason for making this is to kind of show that I'm losing my mind. I really appreciate you all taking the time to watch this. I know it's probably not like the most interesting video to watch, and yet probably like 3 of you actually watched all of this thing through, because I can guarantee it's pretty damn long. How long have I been filming? I've been going at this for 31 minutes talking to this camera. Wow. I know this is a major step in like a different type of direction with the content that I was already making, and I don't necessarily plan to continue this type of way of making videos, because this is just getting some stuff off of my chest. And yes, I am sharing this with the public, but that is kind of the whole point. It's for me to keep track of, and maybe some of you are experiencing the same thing, and maybe some of you can help me with some film recommendations or some ideas, or, you know, saying hello. I mean, I don't think I've had like anybody say hello to me besides like some close friends or family members. Nobody ever really reaches out and says hi or hey, how have you been? So, you know, if you're one of those people that are in the comments, hi. You know, I also did kind of get this talking to the camera idea from Ben. So, Ben, if you are watching this again, hello again. I call you like 3 times. 3 times in the same hour, so what's up, dude? No, I personally just like annoying Ben sometimes. I think I got everything off of my chest. I do think this is a little bit productive. I thank you for watching this pretty boring video, and I'm gonna briefly edit it a little bit. Just go ahead and upload it. No thumbnail, really. So, yeah, thank y'all.